Morning. Today we're doing our bar sculpt class online, and we have Natalie here who's going to show some modifications, and Colette here will be following me. So here we go. We're standing with our feet wider than hip width apart. Toes are parallel towards the mirror. Place your hands on your thighs. You're going to shift back and lift up. Firm your outer thighs. Press into your feet and rebound up. Hands are lightly placed on your thighs, not pressing too hard, but just moving with the intention of rebounding up. Draw your waist in. Let's add the arms, forward and back. Keep firming those outer thighs, keep firming your outer ankles. Changing the arm position, bring your hands to prayer, press back. Let's do 8 counts. We're at 3 and 4. Bring your toes slightly more parallel. Natalie, widen your stance. Hands on thighs, 8 counts. This is just to warm up the body. Get your heart rate going a little bit. It's cold outside. You too, Colette, widen your stance. Again, hands to prayer. 1, 2, 3. Last 4. Spread your fingers wide. Hands on thighs. We're going to slide our right foot towards our left foot to right. Still in that sumo squat, tailbone shifts back towards the legs. Let's add the arm, right arm, left arm. Woo. Hold it in that sumo squat, hands on thighs. Shift your weight forward to the balls of your feet. Soften the knees, inhale, lengthen. Soften the knees as you forward fold. Again, inhale, lengthen, halfway lift, and fold. Hands on your hips, elbow tips up towards the ceiling to lift your shoulder heads up and away from the floor. With a long spine, come to standing. Turn your toes to 10 and 2, dip down. Right forearm on your thigh, 16. Root down through your heels. Your knees are over your ankles. Try to find that little bit more length in the side waist that is bending. Let's pick it up. So you're coming through that second position and straightening the opposite leg, left and right. Breathing. Come to a still with your bottom half, just the arms. Place your hands on your thighs. Shift your tailbone back. Anchor down through the heels, firm your outer thighs, release your right shoulder. Try not to dump into the inner thighs. Keep rooting down and feeling the energy pulling up. Left shoulder releases. Come to center, arms out to the side. We're going to turn towards the right into a lunge. Feet are hip width apart. Try to square your hips, guide that left hip forward. Fly the arms back, palms down. Straighten the back leg, push into the left heel, firm that outer right hip. Small knee bends in the back leg. 1, 2, 8 counts.
That looks great.
So really pushing into the back heel, feeling the quadricep lift off of the kneecap. Hold it here. Bring your arms forward, firm your outer right hip. Keep that length in the torso, release your hands down to the floor. Anchor the left hand, open up for a lunge twist towards the curtain. Really plug that lower shoulder in towards the back body. Your shoulder is directly over your wrist. Release your right hand down, back knee releases to the floor, hinge your hips over the knee, flex your right foot. Really root down through the right heel and drag it back isometrically to square the hips. Inhale, find that little backbone between the shoulder blades, draw your chin down towards your chest. Knee stays soft, really finding the balance and stabilization through the hips. We're going to come back into our runner's lunge, releasing the right foot down, tuck the left toes under, pause here. Open up for that lunge twist once again. Releasing the right hand. You're going to soften the back knee, reach your both arms forward, palms face one another, thumbs up. Soften the back knee, come into crescent pose. You might need to shorten your stance. Again, hips are squared. Open your palms up away from you. Bring your elbows towards your back ribs. Lunge dips. 1, 2. There's nothing too fast about it. You really want to feel the balancing of your weight from the front foot, front leg and the back leg. Pause here. Close your arms up like a book. Straighten them. Fly that right arm back. You're in a lunge twist. Keep reaching with your left arm forward. Come into that lunge twist once again. Left hand flat on the floor. Prepare and come into side plank. Right leg stacks over left. The modification would be the bottom knee on the floor or a forearm plank. Want to really feel the rooting down of the left palm come into, or you're already in side plank. Lift your pubic bone up towards your navel. Float the top leg up. Your inner thigh is facing the bottom inner thigh. Bending the knee towards your elbow. Keeping that inner thigh towards the floor. Neutral. We're here only for 2 more counts, a total of 4. Pubic bone is drawing up towards your navel. Hold on to that right shin. Place your right foot onto the floor. Pause here. Lengthen, drag your chest forward. Bring your left foot to meet your right. We're just going to step our right foot back, doing the opposite side. Inhale, lengthen. Drag your chest forward. Anchor down your right hand, open up for a lunge twist. Float the left arm down. Find that length in your torso again. Come to rising up. Fly those arms back. Firm that outer left hip in, small knee bends in the back leg. 1, straighten, kick through that heel. 2, 3, 4. Your fingers are spread wide. You're opening up your collarbone is wide. Pause here. Fly your arms forward one last time. Frame your front foot. From here, release the back knee, shift your hips over the, shift your hips so that it's stacked. You're stacked. Bend the front leg. Drag the left heel back so you can shift that right hip forward. Really important to balance out the hips. Find that little anterior arch in the lower back, the back bend in the shoulder blades. Draw your chin down. And releasing the left foot, tuck your back toes under. You're in that lunge once again. Really anchor down through the back ball of the foot in the front heel. Come into crescent pose. Soften the back knee. Palms flip towards the right side of the room. And 8 counts. 1, 2. So you feel a nice stretch on the right hip flexor. The front knee is right over the ankle. Pause here. Close your arms like a book. Straighten them. Fly that left arm back. You're in a crescent pose twist. Straighten the back leg. Reach forward with your right hand. Place your palm on the floor. Lunge twist. Know your shoulders right over your wrist. Anchor that shoulder in towards your back body. Come into side plank. Find the variation that best suits you. Forearm plank or the bottom knee can be on the floor. Draw your hip points up towards your navel. Knit your upper abs together. Option to float the top leg up. The inner thighs remain facing one another. Bring your knee towards your elbow. 4 counts. 1, 2. Really feel the abdominals are the pilot here, so feel them engage. Keep that inner thigh, keep that knee parallel towards the floor. Last one. Take hold of the shin. Guide the left foot forward. Find the length in your torso. This time we're going to bring our left foot back to meet our right. You're in plank, top of your push-up. Your shoulders are over your wrists. I'm going to place this man under Natalie's knees so she can take the modification, placing her knees flat onto the floor, onto the cushy part of her knees, not the kneecap. Hugging your elbows towards your side ribs, lower down chaturanga, 2 breaths. Press into the palms, come back to plank. Tuck the toes back under, straighten your legs, Natalie. Lift your hips high, downward facing dog. Bend the knees enough so you really can find the length in the torso. If you're hyper bendy, you want to draw your ribs in towards one another. Your pubic bone draws up towards your navel. Knees stay soft so your heels can guide toward the floor. Not necessary for them to meet the floor. It's really a nice balancing pose. Shifting your weight evenly in your arms and your legs. Pedal out the feet, release the right heel down. And your left heel. Taking it nice and slow. And find your downward facing dog. Spread your fingers wide. Roll your triceps back towards you, spin your biceps forward. We're gonna walk our hands back towards our feet. Heel toe your feet together. Now create a little space between your heels. As you drop your bum down to 90 degrees, we're coming into chair pose. Let's all shift forward, root to rise. Let's all face the front of the room. Circle the arms down, palms press down towards the floor. Find that chair pose once again. Straighten your arms. Rest your shoulders, your inner upper shoulders down your spine. Palms face one another. As you fly your hands back, palms are going to face the back curtain. Roll your shoulder heads up and away from the floor. Knit your upper abs. Releve. This always can be done on flat foot. Releve is an option. Inner thighs pull towards one another. Outer thighs, you're creating that pelvic stability. Let's pulse. 1, hold. Small range of motion. You want to really feel the spreading of the toes. The ankles are glued towards one another. Continue to lift your shoulder heads up and away from the floor, but knit the upper abs. Pause here. Heels are going to release down, arms are going to float up and overhead. Let's do those same cactus arms. Elbows towards the back ribs. Arms up overhead. Hinge and fold from the hips, not the waist. So keeping a long spine, soften the knees. Release the hands down towards the floor. Lift the inner borders of your shoulders up and away. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. We're going to step back to that same plank position. Shoulders over wrists. Find that modification. Pause there, straighten your arms. Pause there. Take your right leg up a couple of inches. Spin the inner thigh up towards the ceiling so your hips stay parallel towards the floor. Pull your knee in towards your chest. Kick into that right heel, come back to a one-leg plank. Slowly bend the heel towards your bum. Sole of the foot faces the ceiling. Let's pulse 1. Point the toe, 2, 3, 4. Bring the knee towards your chest. Come back into your plank position. Take your left leg up a couple inches. Spin the inner thigh up, kick into that heel a lot. Flex the foot, dorsiflex the toe. Now pull your knee in towards your chest on your inhale. Straighten your leg on your exhale. Hold it here. Slowly bend the heel towards your bum. You're still in parallel. And flex, point. Flex, point. Straighten your leg, kick into the heel, lower the foot. We're gonna lower down to chaturanga. Find that modification or variation that works for you. Inhale, press back into plank. Downward facing dog. Nice work. 5 breaths. Fingers are spread wide. Outer upper arm spin back. Keeping that wide collarbone, wide upper back. Finding that balance between the hands and the feet. And let's walk our hands back towards our feet once again. This time, flip the palms over, bend the knees enough and flip the palms over and give a nice little wrist stretch. Inner borders of the shoulders lift up and away from the floor, giving space for the neck to hang freely. Roll it up. Feel the abs pulling back towards the spine. Standing tall. Okay, we're gonna get our bar now.
1, go.
So for the bar work at home, you can use a counter in your kitchen or a console behind your couch. You can also use a chair, and I'll show you. Yeah, I mean, it depends on the height of your chair, but you can always use your chair just to stabilize and help balancing poses. But what we're gonna start with is our feet hip width apart. So draw your hip points up towards your navel so your tailbone can release down. You wanna keep that stacking sensation of your bones, that alignment. So we're gonna step back we're gonna alternate right and left and step back into our regular lunges, but keep in mind your shoulders over your hips and your hips over that back knee. Stepping with the right foot back first. Let's pause here for a moment. So with your mind's eye, feel that your shoulders are over your hips, your hip is over that back knee. Steer that front hip back, so that same balancing up of the hips so you can find that pelvic stability. Draw your lower belly up and back. Relax your shoulders. Plug your arm bones back into your shoulder sockets, even though you're reaching forward. Now let's alternate. Step up, pause, hold, step up, pause, hold. That front knee is directly over your ankle, so you need to be able to step back far enough so you can find that alignment. Most important is to protect that front knee. Your eyes stay gazing up so that your neck can stay long. You're dropping down, most likely you'll find that internal rotation of the shoulders down, and you want to keep that widening of your collarbone and a little lift in the shoulder heads. Last set, we're gonna keep our right leg back. Pause here. So if you're on your countertop, you place your forearm over your forearm. Your hip is gonna now be stacked over your ankle. So find that, you might need to shimmy back, most likely. Your hips are squared towards the floor. Same if you were push into the extended back right heel. Draw your pubic bone up towards your navel so you're not dumping into your lower back. Lift the right leg with the inner thigh. That'll help parallel the hips towards the floor. You're gonna lift in 1-inch increments. So it's pulsing. There's nothing too big, nothing too dramatic about this. Really focusing on shifting that right hip down and firming that outer left standing hip. Build from the ground up. Spread the toes. Feel all the muscles lifting up to the root of the muscle, the insertion of the muscle. Nice. There's no flinging here. You want to draw the lower abs back so that the lower back can stay long. Pause there. Slowly bend the heel towards your bum. Now what if the bar work's not working for you? Standing work. You can always take this also to all fours. Keep it going. 1, 2. Similar to what we did in our plank position. So you've already educated the body where you're going, where you are now. It's prepared, we're not shocking it. It knows the alignment cues. It knows we've like road mapped. Pause, straighten the leg. Find that lunge again. Release the back heel, flex the front foot, guide the hips towards square, soften the knee, hinge and fold from the hips, stretch it out. Fingertips can be on the floor. They can also be placed one hand on your shin, but you don't want to press down towards hyperextending the knee. So if your hands are on your shin, you want to press the shin towards the calf, the back of the calf or shin towards the front. Come back, release the front foot, find that bar again, step forward, stretch it out. Cross the ankle and over the thigh, sit back for figure 4. So wrap the outer glute towards the inner glute. It's not about a knee stretch, you want to feel the muscles moving from the hip joint. And release the top leg. Stretch out the standing leg. The standing leg work, the supporting leg work just as much as the extended back leg. Again, there's no forcing the knee open, that'll just injure the knee. So you want to wrap the muscles from the hip joint, let them move and steer that knee open. Dorsiflex the top foot. And come on back. Feet are hip width apart, step back with your left leg. Only 8 counts, 1, 2. Be mindful of that front knee. Slow it down, there's a moment of pause in that lunge. Last set, we're gonna hold the left leg back. Steer the left hip forward, guide that right hip back so you can find that stacking, shoulders over hips, hip over the back knee. Stacking forearm over forearm, shift your body forward, rest your forehead on your arms. So take a moment to set it up well. Lift the back leg with the inner thigh so your hips stay parallel. Drop that left hip, lift, so find that little lift in the right hip. Firm the outer thigh. 1 inch increments, 8 counts. Flex and point. So really lifting with the belly of the muscle of the hamstring, keeping that space in the lower back by drawing the lower belly up and back. Pause there. Nice. Notice how Natalie's both hip points are facing down. You can see this flatness of this lower back. Slowly with the belly of the muscle, bend the heel towards the bum. Let the hamstring be the pilot here. So in order to get your leg high, you have to drop your torso. Natalie's finding a nice modification, what feels right for her body. Always paying attention and keeping your body safe. Flex and point the foot. Flex, point. Keep drawing the lower belly up and back so you know you're supporting the spine and not collapsing into it. 8 more. 8. What do you teach up?
It hurts.
Nice. 4 more. 4. It's like you're visualizing the heel and the toe going to the same spot in the ceiling. And hold it. Draw your knee in towards your chest. We're going to do that figure 4 again. It stretches out those outer glutes a lot. So there's a pressing in of the ankle and a pressing back of the thigh in towards one another. Hinging from the hips. Keep that knee high till you feel the stability of the muscles in the hip joint. Then begin to steer the leg open. Rise. Opposite leg. Keeping that knee high, keeping the hips stable, nice cleft. That's right. Both hips are even. Finding that wrap of the outer thigh towards the inner thigh. Shoulders gently press in towards your chest. And rise. Okay, we're gonna move the bar over to the side, and now we're gonna come to our mats. A towel works, a carpet, towel on a carpet. And do some ab work. So lying down on your backs. Ready? Yeah. So lying down on your backs. Now I'm going to pass out balls, but all of this can be done without balls. Also, a yoga block can be used. I'll show
Can you
the.
give me a yoga block?
Sure. Or it can be done without any props at all. So we don't all have these props at home. I'll do without. So bring your legs up to tabletop position. Again, think about stacking those bones. So you want to keep your ankles or your feet in alignment with your knees. Your knees are directly over your hips. Even here, draw your hip points up towards your navel so you're sealing the lower back onto the mat. Interlace your hands behind your head. Elbows are wide. Notice your rib cage probably just puffed open. So you want to knit your upper abs together while maintaining that lift for the lower belly. Inhale, shoulder blades lift off your mat. Pause, press down the rib cage towards the floor. Exhale, round and tap toward the legs. Whether they make it there or not doesn't matter. It's really keeping the engagement of the core, sealing the lower back down to the floor, and maintaining that knitting of the upper abs towards one another. Dorsiflex your feet. Nice.
Yes.
Really link your breath to the movement. So your inhale takes you down and your exhale rounds you forward. So connecting the breath to the movement will only enhance the sit-up, the working of the abdominal muscles. Inner thighs are pulling towards the block or ball or that imaginary prop. The outer thighs are firming in, so you're already creating this, we've already created that pelvic stability and that memory. We've educated the body in that way, so you want to maintain that even here. Let's do 4 more. And slowly release the back of your head down towards the floor. Draw your knees up towards your chest. Arms are going to come out to a T, palms down. Anchor down through the back body, the upper body, shoulders. Let your knees fall towards the left side. Simple spinal twist. So when you have a prop or a towel, can even go in between your inner thighs. Draw your knees up a little higher towards your chest. So what the knees drawing up towards your armpit or your chest allows is a softness in the lower back. And the twist comes into the upper thoracic spine. Keep the knees high towards your chest. On your inhale, draw your belly back towards your spine. Pause there for a moment. Shift your legs over to the right side, keeping the knees high towards your armpit. This should feel really nice. Draw your knees up towards your chest, belly towards your spine, come back center. Take your prop out, place it on the side. Take hold of the back of your hamstrings, rock forward and back if it's okay with your back or your spine. Or you can roll to your right and come up to a seated position. Stretch your legs out in front of you. Keep your knees soft so you can root down through your sit bones. Arms reach up overhead. Hinging and folding from the hips, not the waist. So you want to keep that length in your spine. Let your hands rest where they fall. Inhale, lengthen, draw your chest forward, and exhale, then round. Maybe the legs straighten a little bit more, but it's really not necessary. When you have that length in your spine, the hamstrings begin to soften and release. It's kind of taking the hamstrings out of the equation. And inhale. Bend your right leg, place your hands on the front of your shin, roll back onto your spine. Dorsiflex both feet, pubic bone draws up towards your navel, hover the left foot, Press into the right shin, right heel. Lift your shoulder blades off your mat. Draw your belly button again down towards the floor. Release the hands, palms face one another. Straighten your arms. Bring your knee more over your hip. Bring your heel down towards your knee. There you go. Hands on your shin, release the left foot down, straighten your right leg up towards the ceiling. Circle your ankle. And bending the right knee, bring your left knee to meet your right. Bring your forehead towards your knees. Rest your shoulders down your spine. Interlace your hands around the left shin. Straighten your right leg. Bring the knee so that it's stacked over your hip. Press into the ball of the foot of the left leg. Pull your belly button down towards the floor. Relax your shoulders. Straighten your arms. Palms face one another. Lower the left foot more, Natalie. And slowly draw both knees in towards your chest. Small hip circles, rolling your hips open. Oh, thank you. And reverse. Hands back on the shin on the left side. Straighten the right leg. Release the right foot heel to the floor. Straighten the left leg. Circle the heel around. Reverse directions. Hug both knees in towards your chest. Forehead meets your knees. Rest your shoulders down your spine. Hands behind your legs or behind your knees. Rock yourself up. Feet are parallel. Shift your hips up so you're in a little squat. Lift your heels and then press them down and you get a nice Achilles calf stretch. Bring your hands in front of you. Heels descend down towards the floor. Keep that connection with your chest on your thighs. Begin to lift your hips up towards the ceiling. Whether the legs straighten or not doesn't matter. Let the crown of your head release down towards the floor. Lift your inner upper shoulders away from your ears and roll it up. And you can find the link below for the playlist that I made for the workout. Thank you.